We welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, our dear panelists and participants on call. We welcome you to this 16th webinar of our Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month webinar series. We've come a long way, and this is the 16th of a series of webinars. We are saying your money can be money smart. Sente yo esobola. We are active on social media sites, and you can find us on Twitter. Our handle is hashtag your money can. Visit our website too at www.yourmoneycan.or.ug. Your host and moderator for this webinar is me, Ronald Mugwanya. This campaign is brought to you by the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, and we are in collaboration with various partners. To start off, our strategic partners, which is Bank of Uganda, Uganda Bankers Association, Uganda Insurance Association, Financial Sector Deepening, Uganda, FSDU, and Summit Consulting. To add on, we've got platinum sponsors, or a platinum sponsor, and this is Bank of Africa, Uganda. We've got multiple other sponsors from across the banking and financial services sector, and these include Absa Bank, Stanbic, Equity, Opportunity, KCB, DTB, Centenary Bank, EcoBank, Pride Microfinance, Yugford Microfinance, EFC, Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Think Bank, and Housing Finance Bank. These are our sponsors. We appreciate your effort, and we thank you so much for the sacrifice you've made for us to be able to bring to you the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month. Once again, we tell you, your money can be money smart. Sente yo esobola. Our topic for today is professionalism, a key to career advancement. That's the topic that we are discussing today. Briefly about this topic and why we are discussing professionalism. We know today that a bachelor's degree is no longer that much of a hype like it used to have quite a number of years ago. In addition to obtaining a bachelor's degree, joining a professional body offers several benefits. When applying for a job today, for example, employers ask for professional references. A recommendation letter from your professional body gives you mileage and is more valuable, at least that we know for sure. It shows you are focused and passionate about your career. And today, we are joined by a team of experts, all of them professionals and proven success stories, like you're going to hear from the different profiles in their respective career journeys. And they're here to discuss why it matters to be a professional. Besides the bachelor's degrees and academic qualification, why is it important that you take up professional membership? We have a team of 3 panelists, and I will start the introduction with the only lady on the panel, and this is none other than the CEO of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services. And I must also add that she is the brain behind the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month, the first one of its kind in our country. And this is Goretti Masade, MCIM, member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing. People practice what they preach. We're here to talk about professionalism, and all our panelists are members of professional bodies like you're going to see. Goretti is the CEO of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services. She is an accomplished professional who possesses versatile experience, having worked in various senior leadership positions in FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. She's worked in tourism, social development, professional bodies management, private consulting, and in the financial services sector. In the financial services sector, Goretti headed corporate communications and product development functions of Global Trust Bank and Orient Bank. She's a professional food scientist and a marketer, holding a bachelor's degree in food science and technology of Makerere University, and is a graduate of the Royal Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK. Previously, Goretti served as the Secretary General and President of the Public Relations Association of Uganda. Goretti is a member of the board of the Chimpanzee Sanctuary and Wildlife Conservation Trust, Nagamba Island. Is it Nagamba or Ngamba? Please correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think it's Ngamba. Sorry for the typo. On which she chairs the finance committee. Beyond her professional career, Goretti serves on the board of Rotary Uganda as a member and serves on various Rotary country committees. Goretti has a knack for fasts. She was the first female brewer in East Africa, the first female president of the Public Relations Association of Uganda, and lastly, Goretti was the first female, or is the first female Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services. Your host for the webinar. You are most welcome, Goretti.
Thank you very much, Ronald.
Our next panelist is none other than Janan Chisache. Janan is already on call and you can see him on video. Janan is currently the Deputy Principal at the Insurance Training College, ITC, Uganda. Now, prior to this, Janan served as Head of Training and Research at the Insurance Institute of Uganda. He has held several leadership roles in business growth and development at the Insurance Company of East Africa, ICEA, as a consultant, ICA Group, and other insurance companies in Uganda. Janan has served as a consultant in insurance, risk management, pensions, and bank assurance for a number of leading banks and insurance firms. Janan holds an MBA from Makerere University, and additionally, he's a chartered member of both the Insurance Training College, ITC, Uganda, and the Chartered Insurance Institute, CII, of UK. An associate and accredited trainer of the Chartered Institute of Securities and Insurance, CC, and a Milliman Fellow of the Impact Insurance Academy, and an ILO certified micro-insurance trainer. To continue briefly, because we have to emphasize the issue of membership to professional bodies, Janan is a member of various professional bodies. Number one, Milliman Fellow, Impact Assurance Academy, Micro-Insurance Network, Milliman Fellow, Impact Insurance Academy, Micro-Insurance Network, a member of the Chartered Insurance Institute, UK, Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment, CC, is an associate, and Insurance Training College, Uganda, is a chartered member. He's also a board member, and I have to say this with a smile. He's a member of the Senate of the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, right here where I sit. He's a board member, Community Health and Information Network, the Chain Project of Uganda. It's a non-government organization. He's also a board member, Victoria Office Park Condominium Board. Lastly, Janan is a member of the Publicity and PR Committee, which is the governing council. Or that is the past position, is a past member. Janan, you are most welcome. Lastly, on the panel.
Thank you, Ronald.
Okay, it's a pleasure, Janan. Lastly, on the panel, we have Derek Nkajja. He's the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. You are most welcome, Derek. Derek, like I've said, is the Chief Executive of ICPAU, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and Secretary to the Council of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Chief Executive and Secretary to the Council, I beg your pardon, since October 2010. Derek is a member of the International Federation of Accountants, IFSC, Compliance Advisory Panel, effective January 2014, representing the Africa region. Derek currently serves on the Finance Committee of the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. He also serves on the Finance Committee of the Institute of Corporate Governance of Uganda, ICGU. He is the board treasurer of Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union Limited. Previously, Derek represented the East African region on the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, PAFA or PAFA. As an ICPAU, Institute of Certified Public Accountants Uganda representative, I beg your pardon here, Derek represented the East African region on the Pan-African Federation of Accountants board as an ICPAU representative. And this Pan-African Federation is, ICPAU is a founding member of the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. Before joining ICPAU, Derek was a finance manager at Capital Radio Limited. And in terms of qualification, he holds a master's degree in business administration of Edinburgh Business School, Heriot-Watt University, United Kingdom, and a bachelor's of commerce degree majoring in accounting of Makerere University. And lastly, he holds a diploma in business studies. You are most welcome, Derek. Now, our dear panelists, you've heard it. It's a panel of proven professionals, all of them members of professional bodies, and also carrying a very heavy load of academic qualifications. Now, without further ado, once again, I'll say thank you to our partners, to our platinum sponsor, and to our strategic partners. I want to open up the floor to our panelists to at least give us a brief of the various institutions that they lead, what they do, the history, and so many other things. In about 10 minutes, please. I'll start with our Chief Executive Officer, Goret Masade. You're most welcome, Goret.
Thank you very much, Ronald. Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, fellow panelists. I want to start off by thanking you very, very much, panelists, for joining us on this session. That's very, very important to the audience and to each one of us as panelists. And to thank our audience for embracing the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month. I see a number of names that have been here with us from the very beginning, and that sort of reassures us that this was a move in the right direction. When we started off, we said we wanted the month to create more financial awareness or financial literacy, to connect financial providers to financial users, services users, and to also promote professionalism and provide a sort of awareness or window into what banking and finance provides in terms of career opportunities. And here we are. We've had 5 weeks, and this is our 5th week, which is a good thing. So congratulations to everybody who has been with us today. In brief, because we need to be brief, the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services has been around since 1967, and really our mandate is to promote professionalism and inclusion among users and providers of financial services. And we want to do that through market-led training, research, and consultancy. And that is one of the reasons we are actually doing the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month. Now, when it started in 1967, it was affiliated to the Chartered Institute of Banking in London, which is now the London Institute of Banking and Finance. And then in 1990, we became autonomous, and we became registered as a company limited by guarantee. And what does that mean? It means that we are member-owned, and our members include the regulated banking and financial services providers, especially banking, the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and of course, individual members. And in the individual members, we have got categories. Currently, we've got the student membership, ordinary membership. We've got the associate, those that have passed a diploma in banking. And then we've got the fellows, those that have distinguished themselves in service, experience, and of course, qualification. And potentially, they will have done 10 years of practice in banking. The associates would have done 3 years of practice in banking. Very recently, we changed, we reviewed our membership, and at the AGM in July of this year, the new membership structure was approved to enable the members progress more or progress better. So it became more progressive. So previously, while you had only about 4 individual membership levels, now we will have about 8. And I am glad to say that we are launching this tomorrow. It's a very exciting moment for us. We are going to do a lot more in terms of professional development, in terms of not being stuck at one level for a very long time. And if you have time, Ronald, I'll speak very briefly to that. So we are excited about that. Now we provide a number of our governance. We've got a council that's really there for advisory, and they also support in terms of awarding the different qualifications. Then we've got a board that is there for governance and policy. And then of course, we've got the management that I'm very, very proud of. We have the Senate. A Senate is a new development that was recommended by the National Council for Higher Education because of the programs that we offer. And the Senate is there to advise the board on everything academics. So they are really our quality assurance body. And I'm glad to say that Jonan is one of the members of the Senate. In terms of what we provide professional courses. Among the professional courses are the Chartered Banker program that we are delighted to say has become equated to a degree program by the National Council for Higher Education. So currently, anybody who is interested in going into banking and finance can move from S6 and go straight into this program. As you realize, I think, Ronald, you started off by saying that you would be right to say that a degree is no longer the thing. So a professional qualification, if you earn it earlier, it's a 3-year program. So by the time you're done with this Chartered Banker program, 3 years of study, you're ready to go running. By the time you're done with a degree in 3 years, you're ready to go start being a banking officer and wait till when you learn the entire piece of banking. So we are very, very proud of it. And of course, it also provides the same opportunity for people who are bankers already. We've got it's a 3-year program, as I mentioned, and every year you get a certificate. So basically every year allows you an opportunity to go start working, which is unlike what you would get if you're doing a degree. And then we've got certified credit management. This is a 1-year program that is really there to enable people get enriched or grounded in credit, everything credit. Then we've got the diploma in microfinance. This one is a 2-year program. And again, there's so many people who are money lenders out there. They want to get into money lending of any sort, or you're working with microfinance, with circles. So many circles in the country. So the diploma in microfinance 2 years really grounds you in that sort of business and lending. We've got academic programs. We've got the Masters of Arts in Financial Services. And we've also got a postgraduate diploma in agriculture, risk management, and finance. The Masters of Arts in Financial Services is with, in partnership with Makerere University. And then the postgraduate diploma is with Mountains of Thamon University. Then, of course, we've got the usual, the short skills programs that we do between 5 days, 1 to 5 days. These are skills programs that just ground members of the industry or employees of the industry in certain aspects of their roles. Then we've got specialization courses. These ones are up to 6 months sometimes, and you've got agricultural value chain management, and finance. Then you've got SEI, which is really for dealers. And then we've got other microfinance programs that could be short or a little longer, up to 6 months. And finally, we've got computerized courses or computer courses and digital skills courses. So that's really what we are all about. If you give me some time later, we shall talk about the new membership program that we are really proud of. Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you so much, Goretti, for the wonderful introduction and for representing our brand and the products. Really good. Thank you so much. I will now move on to our next panelist, and this is Janan Chisache. Janan, you're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald, of course, for the kind introduction, and also to Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services for this kind invitation for us to be part of this Awareness Week, and specifically to be part of a webinar that speaks to professionalism, an aspect or area that the Insurance Training College specializes in. Now, the Insurance Training College, in terms of what we do and who we are just simply the training arm of Uganda's insurance sector. Now, just like Uganda Institute of Bankers and Financial Services, we started off as a private institution that was started by members of the insurance industry. That was way back in 1964, just probably maybe about 3 years before Uganda Institute of Bankers was established. By then, we were the Insurance Institute of Uganda. We were a private, member-owned institution. Now, fast forward to 2017, the insurance industry is now under a new law. So in 2017, and as per the Insurance Act of 2017, the Insurance Institute of Uganda then was transformed to the Insurance Training College. So from a private member-owned institution to now a public training college or institution. But the mandate and what we do does not change by that transformation. It just simply makes us stronger and more visible. So we are still about professionalism, we are still about training, we are still about education, and ensuring that the insurance industry undertakes its duties, roles, and responsibilities in a professional way. Of course, at the end of the day, the benefit is to the final consumer. Now, in terms of how we are structured and what we do, we are not very different from Uganda Institute of Bankers and Financial Services. The Insurance Training College also offers a number of certified courses. So we'll have certified courses. We'll then have short-term trainings or capacity building courses. We also do or have membership services, because all licensees under the Insurance Act are members of the Insurance Training College. So when I talk about certified courses, these include the Certificate of Proficiency, which is the introduction. If anyone is interfacing with the insurance industry for the first time, the introductory course is the Certificate of Proficiency, which then opens you up to the workings of insurance and what you would expect and what the industry also expects from you. But from the Certificate of Proficiency, which is an introduction, and this is a certified course, and by certified courses, it means that you will be trained, you will be examined, and will give you an award. So at that level, the award is the Certificate of Proficiency in Insurance, which is the foundation course to anyone who is interfacing with insurance for the first time. We will then move to the Certificate in Insurance, and then the Diploma in Insurance. So those are the 3 levels that we have at the moment. We are in advanced stages of establishing the Advanced Diploma in Insurance, and we are positive that come next financial year, that is from about July of 2021, we should have the Advanced Diploma in Insurance. Now, I talked about the certified courses, yes, but normally for you to be professional, professionalism is just simply about you being skilled and having adequate knowledge and information around what you do as a career. And in this case, it's insurance. Now, of course, once you take on the certified training, this certified training is for a period of time, and then you will qualify. But I need to inform our listeners out there that in a professional realm, you have got to continuously upgrade and update yourself. Now, how we do that is through the short-term trainings or the continuous professional development programs. So as the college, we also offer a number of short-term trainings all year round. Some are examinable, others are not examinable. And at the end of the day, of course, we issue a certificate that signifies that the participant or the trainee has gained enough knowledge and experience around that specific area within insurance. And of course, insurance is very wide. It is not possible that we will tackle everything under the certified trainings. So the short-term trainings now give you an opportunity to sort of dig deeper in specific areas around insurance. Now, the other thing that we do is the membership services. Of course, like I mentioned, all licensees, and by licensees, I mean all those who are recognized under the Insurance Act and are required to apply for a license from the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, because the insurance industry is highly regulated. So all licensees will be members of the Insurance Training College. Now, being the Banking and Finance Awareness Week, in 2017, again with the amendment, with the new law, the Insurance Act, we started seeing banks distributing insurance products. So by virtue of the fact that we now have bank assurance agents, the banks are now members of the Insurance Training College, and it's part of their licensing requirements. So we'll offer membership services, which range from free short-term trainings to membership engagements and activities. For example, we hold an annual international insurance conference every single year. And of course, amongst many other benefits that I'll talk about later on as a member of the college. We also undertake consultancies around risk management, around insurance, around bank assurance. We don't only do that, but we also develop curriculum. We have recently partnered with the Uganda Retirement Benefits and Regulatory Authority, where we are developing a certified course for trustees of pension schemes or retirement benefit schemes in Uganda. So it simply means that for all trustees of licensed schemes, they will need to undertake or go through this training that is a result of a partnership between UBRA and ITC. Now, our certified courses, of course, also in terms of development of curricula, we also are the institution that is recognized to provide the foundation course in insurance that is a requirement for all insurance intermediaries and specifically agents. So for all the agents that sell insurance, for all the financial advisors, as at times they are called, they have to undertake that course at the Insurance Training College for purposes of ensuring that they are skilled and they understand what they are selling. Of course, I talked about bank assurance, and when we talk about bank assurance, there's two layers in there. Now we have the specified persons who are responsible for soliciting for insurance sales within the different branches. And we also have the principal officer who is in charge of the bank assurance operations of the bank. Again, the Insurance Training College offers certification for specified persons, and the minimum qualification required by the regulator is a certificate of proficiency, which now has been upgraded to a certificate in insurance effective of July 2021. Again, we work hand in hand with the regulator to ensure that we offer those qualifications and that certification. The idea behind this is to give confidence to the market that indeed the different practitioners within insurance are skilled and have got information around what they are doing. If you are interfacing with a customer within a bank, you're a specified person, you sell insurance within the bank, because bank assurance simply means that the bank is an intermediary. It's a channel of distribution and selling products on behalf of an insurer. But the person who interfaces with the client in aspects of ensuring that we do not have mis-selling, the regulator felt it worthy for them to undertake a certain qualification, and that is the certificate of proficiency in insurance. Now, for the principal officer, the minimum qualification is the diploma in insurance. But also, besides that, we have a number of other partnerships. Now, like I mentioned, the insurance industry is wide. If we are going to professionalize the insurance industry, it's not possible that the insurance training college will conduct all trainings around insurance. Now, what we do in terms of building capacity and also ensuring that we deliver on our mandate, we form partnerships. Now, our qualifications, that is the certificate of proficiency, certificate in insurance, and the diploma in insurance, have been recognized by the Chartered Insurance Institute of the UK. What that means is that if you come to the insurance training college and undertake any of our certified programs or courses, you can then use that qualification to upgrade to an international diploma offered by the CII. Now, that is collaboration, and that is ensuring that we remove any sort of duplication in terms of our courses. But also, it's a sign of confidence that our qualifications have been recognized at the international level. Now, I know, Ronald, you talked about Chartered Institute for Securities and Investments, CC. We are an accredited training partner on the award in bank assurance. What that means is that if you want to undertake the award in bank assurance is a new area. Been here since 2017. First bank was licensed late 2017, still under 3 years. So what we have done in terms of building capacity around professionalizing the bank assurance sector in quotes under banking and insurance, we now offer the award in bank assurance, and we are the accredited training institution for that program. Again, we are speaking professionalism, we are building capacity, and like I mentioned, we cannot do it alone, but we partner with other institutions. But how we do it is that we develop capacity of the training college to be able to offer these programs locally, so that you do not now have to rely on people across the oceans. Of course, we have also introduced an important course together with the International Labour Organization. I'll tell you that the insurance penetration rate for the last so many years has been below 1%. And insurance penetration rate is just simply the contribution of insurance to GDP. We have been below 1% for a very long time. And one of the reasons as to why we have not made inroads is, number one, because we've neglected the customers or the majority of the population that are at the bottom of the pyramid. So we've partnered with the International Labour Organization. We now offer a certification in micro-insurance. We went through a TOT, that's the training of trainers. We've just certified our trainers. This is the program we are now going to continue carrying on as the Insurance Training College using our local trainers, but also it's a program that now we recognize in our other qualifications. For example, if you undertake the certification in microinsurance, you can get exemptions in some of our courses, especially the diploma. And also we have a host of other partnerships. I know in the interest of time, I'll just close by saying that we are also going digital. We have partnered with the Agricultural Business Initiative, and we are going to now have a digital platform that is going to be used to distribute micro-insurance products. Again, we are trying to see how we can combine training that as we build the capacity of our members, we also give them an opportunity to practice what we preach or what we train here. So as the members go through the ILO microinsurance program, they will have an opportunity now to use the digital platform to distribute, first of all, develop products. These products will be approved. And again, we are partnering with financial service providers, especially the circles in rural areas, to ensure that now we reach more people in terms of insurance. So that is just what we do here at the Insurance Training College. Ronald, I know in the interest of time, I would want to stop there. Over to you, Ronald.
Thank you so much, Jonan. That has been a very wonderful introduction to the Insurance Training School and what goes on there. It's really good to note that you've got so many of those international collaborations and that the law is actually on your side. Thank you, Janan. We'll talk more about so many of the things that you've alluded to later in the webinar. Now, I want to invite our last panelist to make an introduction, Derek Nkaja. Derek, are you on call?
Yes, please, I am. Sorry,
yes,
but my picture is not available, but I am available. Thank you, Ronald, for the introduction, and I thank you, CEO, Uganda Institute of Bankers and Financial Statement. I always mix them up, but you'll forgive me. I know you have what it takes to forgive me. The intro, I needed more time. If I knew exactly how much time I have for the intro, I don't want to be off your time, and my connectivity being a bit of a challenge, as I had.
Derek,
Yes.
we've got 10 minutes for the introduction. However, yes, we are mindful of the time, but also we are here to learn. We need to take on as many lessons as possible. We want to go professional. So you will be forgiven if you could go overboard by about 3 or 5 minutes. Not a problem.
All right, thank you so much. I'm Derek Nkaja, as I was introduced, from the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, the body responsible for accountancy and accountants in Uganda. We are creation of an Act of Parliament. We were created in 1992, but the Act was amended in 2013, and our main sorry, Roland, I don't know what to think. And our main functions, according to the regulation of the Act, are two, where all the rest come from. And those two functions are to regulate and maintain the standard of accountants in Uganda, and to prescribe and regulate the conduct of accountants and practicing accountants in Uganda. What do we do at the Institute? Our Institute does not teach, we examine. And we supervise practical training experience for the accountants to be admitted in the profession. According to our laws of Uganda, I always find it interesting, and people only learn when they go to court that they are not accountants. According to the laws of Uganda, an accountant means a person who is enrolled as a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, in line with the Accountants Act. So if you are using anyone who is not enrolled, please know that if you ever take that person to court, court will just absolve that person and say this person is not an accountant, he didn't know what they were doing. So you have to just be very careful when you want to take someone on grounds of being an accountant. Our institute is self-regulated, self-managed. We do not get any resources from the government, but we have a nice framework within our Accountants Act. So we are member financed and we are member regulated. We have three main courses that we do, and that's the main course, which is the Certified Uganda, and then there's the certificate one, which is the Accounting Technician Diploma, and we have a specialized course, which is Certified Tax Advisor. So those are the certificates, those are the courses that we have, but I emphasize we do not teach, we examine and supervise practical experience training. What else do? We look at member issues, because we are member-based, and our biggest stakeholders are the members. We believe they must understand the profession, so we do member activities. The accountancy profession is one of the best structured professions around the globe. We have affiliations. East African, we did a mutual recognition agreement with the coming in place of the Common Market Protocol. We are the first profession to sign it off. And then we also reach into the African with the Pan-African Federation. You heard that I served there for some time. And then we reach also the International Federation of Accountants, where I also served representing Africa. And on a compliance note, so I was looking at how the other professional bodies are complying. And I can confidently say that Uganda, we are doing very well. When I see companies leaving Uganda, the way we have had how our IT young smashing competitions, and you find that Ugandans also hire foreign IT specialists, yet we have youngsters that understand. So it's the same scenario in accountancy. You find people bring in accountants who know a bit and not the whole. At the time when our law came into place, it was interesting that the insurance was to date it, to adopt, because it has a segment where heads of finance must be members of our institute. And we found something very interesting, that some insurance companies had CFOs that had never finished a full professional course from the jurisdictions they came from. And they were supervising people who had completed the professional courses. So we, as Ugandans and people who are driving professionalism or who desire to drive professionalism, we need to coordinate. That's one thing I will always talk about. We need to coordinate as professional bodies and as professionals. We need to understand that we are creating a framework for future Uganda. And that will help us to do a little bit more. How do we recognize professional courses from across the region or outside Uganda? We have a framework where we take on, I prefer to call it localize. We localize every accountant who comes into the country and desires to really operate professionally by asking them just to understand Ugandan law, to understand Uganda business law, and to understand Uganda taxation. And if we find that you never studied from your jurisdiction, we ask you also to understand auditing for Uganda. So that's how we move. In all what we do, we strive to make sure that we are ethical, that we are compliant, and we drive all our activities with those basic aspects. I want just to let people know that there is a framework of accountancy which has been developed now globally, and it is based on 7 statements of membership obligations. If anyone is on this call, please write down the name International Federation of Accountants. You can Google it. You see their website. Then Google for compliance or members. You'll see Uganda, and then you'll see ICPU, and you can read about what we do, because all what we do is submit, and it is available for searching. If you can't search it on our website, you'll search it on IFAC website, International Federation of Accountants, and that will help you to validate whether what I'm saying is right or wrong. Where do we go? Now, Ronald, can I stop there? I prefer to stop there with the intro until I go to the next line.
Yeah, thank you so much, Derek, for the introduction. I think for everyone on call, you've heard that, you know, where all the professions are coming from, right? From the Institute of Banking and the Insurance Institute to now the Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Thank you so much to all our panelists for the brief introductions. Now, before we go to the next stage, I want to read out some of the comments that are coming through from our participants. And I'll start off with Harriet Eyo. She says this is a very beautiful program. She's appreciative of the effort which is going on here. Someone else, Namirembe Juliana. Is it possible for Goretti to share a brochure showing the different courses, duration and cost offered at the Institute of Banking? She also offered her email. Goretti, you just won yourself a convert. Thank you, Juliana. Your comment has been captured here. Then Stephen Eflaim Hire. Stephen is a very wonderful participant. He's always been with us almost since we started. He says, good afternoon to everyone. He just wishes us well. Thank you to all the participants who have given us feedback. Now, I also want to encourage you to get in touch with us, be active via chat, send your questions through the Q&A. We want to hear your comments, we want to hear your feedback. Please, we want to know that we are talking to someone out there. Now, before we open up the Q&A, Jonan and Derek have talked about things here, and before I lose my mind or before I forget, I really want to, I want us to come back briefly in about 2 minutes each, just to shed a bit more light here. Jonan, you talked about different compulsory qualifications at your institute. For example, the certificate of insurance, the certificate of proficiency in insurance, and how you've been able to expand your membership from the traditional insurance business to now including the different banking institutions. In just 2 minutes, Jonan, how did you actually get here? Derek, Jonan, please. Jonan?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yes.
And I had to just, so you're asking how we were able to expand on our membership.
Yes, how did you get the, and actually to get the policymakers to agree that their standard qualification that all practitioners must actually have gone through before they become practitioners? Because we don't see this kind of privilege applied to so many professional bodies here. Janet.
I'll tell you, thank you so much, Ronald, for that question. I will tell you that insurance is one of the most, if I may use the word, one of the most, I don't want to use the word tricky, but misunderstood profession and industry. Now, because of that, and because of the fact that we simply sell a promise, you see, in insurance, we'll take your premium for a promise that if an eventuality occurs, we will compensate you. Most of the times, the premiums you pay and the promise that we make are really so apart. The premium is very small, but the promise usually is quite big. So because of that aspect, insurance is highly regulated. But also because of that aspect, there is a lot of mis-selling around insurance. Now, if there is mis-selling around insurance, the end user or the consumer is the one that actually pays the ultimate price. What brings about this issue of mis-selling is the intermediaries or the insurer not having enough information and knowledge around what they are selling. So we have made it a requirement and lobbied the regulator that because of that issue of the premium we receive and the promise we make, and our regulator has been very kind to understand this, we have had to put certain minimum requirements and qualifications that before you go and interface with a customer, you must have acquired certain minimum skills. Now, what that means is that as we expand and grow the channels of distribution, like I mentioned, banks and bancassurance are a new channel of distribution, it means that we are opening up to a new group of customers that probably were not interfacing with insurance. These customers require knowledge, they require information, they require facts around the underwriting process, around the rating. So for you to be able to talk to these customers with confidence, you must have a certain minimum qualification. So that at the end of the day, when you sell a product to a customer, you've gone through the requirements of explaining to this customer, interpreting for them the small prints, understanding the implication of the premium. Because remember, in insurance mainly, we sell a promise. That promise might not occur. And if it does not occur, the insurer keeps the premium. But to a layman, that means that the insurance company is profiting from that transaction. That is not the case. So from that angle, we have tried to engage the regulator, who has been very supportive, to ensure that at least we have a certain minimum qualification, which each and everyone who is coming into the insurance industry, especially those who are serving customers, should have to be able then to avoid the aspect of mis-selling and misinforming customers, which then affects the wider insurance sector. So that's how we've been able to try and expand on our membership, especially through the certified courses. I hope I have answered your question, Ronald.
You've done that really perfect well, Janan. Thank you so much. I also understand there was quite a bit of lobbying in the background. Thank you, Janan. Now, one last one to Derek, before we go into the next session of Q&A. Derek, in your introductory remarks, you said you don't train, you just supervise supervise practical experience and conduct examinations. Why did you choose the route of examinations and supervision of practical experience as opposed to training? Why is that so, Derek? Derek? Yeah.
The history of development of accountancy probably directed how many professional bodies operate. Accountants mainly operate developed through clerkship. Someone would be good at arithmetic and join a firm. You always start on clerking. That's how we used to call it. And clerking, you'd start with the lowest area of the profession. Sometimes, many times, was like to add up, not even to post into the ledger, but to add up the ledger, and that's how we grew. Then you learn what they do, and at a certain level, you go out to attempt the professional exams. So that's how the profession developed globally. And then the exams would be asking you about real life examples. And probably because currently people are using the crash program of training, that's why people say that accountancy courses are very short, because our exams blend your knowledge and your applicability, the applicability of the knowledge. We want to be sure that if you go out in the field, you'll be able to do exactly what you're supposed to do. So we decided not to take the training route for now. In the future, we may introduce it because we realize the next gen needs a lot of crash program, and it may be too costly for private trainers to do so. So we're already debating whether the institute should not have a training arm, so that we can have a general training that helps to minimize or mitigate on the costs of training for the accountants. And the cost structure, that's one way also of helping all people to come to the profession. If we have to take on the training, probably also the cost could have been too much. Because over the years, we have seen people who have just been in an accounting firm and they come to attempt exams and they excel. So that old model still works, where people start into clerkship, they read the literature within the firm, they prepare themselves mentally and attempt the professional examinations. But the next pathway is you go before a tutor. He tells you what you are required to do as a professional accountant, and you come and attempt the you attempt the exams. And that's where we said that we supervise practical experience training, because we realized when tuition came into place, there are those who would smash the papers, but they don't have the applicability so well. They can talk about it, how to do so, but physically they have never seen how an accounting software works. They have never seen how the ledgers look like. Simply because their tutor was good, he created a mental picture and recited the mental picture back to you. So that's the irony of the model. But we believe anyone who desires to be a professional accountant, we have several pathways, and you can become a good professional accountant.
Derek, okay. Thank you so much, Derek, for painting a good picture and trying to, bring to the fore why you don't conduct trainings. And I think I also must add that we are looking forward to that time when the institute opens up for training, or when you get the training arm at your premises. Thank you so much, Derek. Now, before we move on to the Q&A, I want to invite my colleague here, Derek Lubega, the IT person who is making sure that we move seamlessly from UIBFS here. Derek, please, I want to invite you to share with us the poll. And this poll is intended basically to try to get the level of understanding of different people on call, regarding the levels of awareness of professional programs and the benefits of professional training. The poll is available on your screens. You can see it. Just put a tick or just click anything which you feel is applicable to you. And when you are done, submit a poll. Usually we do this between 30 seconds and 1 minute. And if you're done, please, you just submit, and we will be reading out the results in the due course. Is everyone able to see the results? I mean, is everyone able to see the poll on their screens? I know everyone is able to see the poll on their screens. Just do what is necessary, click where it is applicable, and we'll be reading the results shortly before we move over to the Q&A. But still, I want to encourage everyone on call to please engage with us. Chat a comment, chat feedback, go to the Q&A, write in a question. This is the only opportunity we've got to engage with high-level professionals who have all made it in their respective careers. They're holding very high ranks, and they've got a wealth of knowledge. If you've got anything that you want to ask within the confines of professionalism, this is your chance. Please do not hesitate to type in, and your question, comment, or feedback will be read out for a response from the panelists. I hope now is the time to start off with the results of the poll, but there is a comment from Awatch. Awatch says he sees something not right with age, but I think it's okay if the age doesn't apply to you, just leave it out, Awatch. Just go to whatever is applicable to you there. Thank you for the observation. Okay, Derek, are we ready with the results of the poll? Derek? Okay, now, these are our results. And the first question is about age. And we are saying, or what we are seeing here is 7% of the respondents are between the ages of 15 and 25. We've got 35 to 56, only 27, or 35 to 46. And that is 27%. We've got 36 to 45, 33%. 46 plus is only 33%. So most of the people we've got here are between the age ranges of 36 to 46. Now, the second question is asking whether which of the following describes how aware you are about professional bodies. Heard of them, 10% say they've heard about professional bodies. Know about them, 57%, and that's the majority. I am a member, 47%, not informed at all, 0. No, at least everyone says they've either heard about them, they know about them, or they are a member. But I'm glad to report that a great majority of the people, 57% of people on call say they know about professional bodies. What remains is probably on our side now the effort to make sure that these people become members or take up membership. Number 3, I would trust professionals if they were members of professional bodies. We want to know if being a member of a professional body adds the advantage of being trusted by clients. 77% of all respondents say they strongly agree that they would trust professionals if they were members of professional bodies. 23% say they tend to agree. And in the other 2 categories, which is don't know and disagree, we have 0% respondents. So what we are seeing here is people tend to agree, or 70% agree, strongly agree that they trust professionals, and 20% tend to agree. Number 4, professional bodies are out of touch with the real world. 3% strongly agree, 17% tend to agree, not sure, that's 10%, disagree, 70%, which is now the reverse. Probably what we are seeing here is that 70% of the people agree that professional bodies actually resonate with what people wish to see people practice. Then lastly, professional qualifications are not as respected as academic qualifications. 77% of the people or of the respondents disagree with this statement. In other words, they say that professional qualifications are as important and are as respected as academic qualifications. 0% don't know, 10% say they tend to agree with the statement, and 13% say they strongly disagree with the statement that professional qualifications are not as respected as academic qualifications. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, our panelists and the people on call, our participants, those are the poll results. Now, having said all that and having gone through the results of the poll, I want us to move on to the next session, which is a Q&A. I would have loved so much to start off with questions from our participants, but I don't see any coming through. And that means we'll just have to go with what we have arranged. Like we did in the first place, I'm going to engage with Goretti, the CEO of our beloved institute, the Institute of Banking and Financial Services. Goretti, this is to you as a professional marketeer and a leader at that. I just wish to know, or people on call would love to know, what is that thing that we call professionalism? What is professionalism? And really, what role does professionalism play in career growth? Goretti.
Thank you, Ronald. And I want to say I enjoyed the initial discussions by my fellow panelists very much. And in fact, I will use their examples to explain what professionalism is. Now, usually when you say professionalism, it's taken lightly. It's often that, oh, this person behaves well, they dress well, they speak well, and everything that comes with professionalism. So, and I know that there are some, like you mentioned, bodies that have not yet had the opportunity, for instance, to get enacted or statutory recognition, the way ICPAU has or the way insurance has. And so it's important to go through what professionalization is in the first place before we can actually talk about professionalism. Now, professionalization is really a process that ICPAU went through, that the insurers went through, and what we are going through. Really a process by which any trade or occupation, so the trade of banking, or occupation of banking, transforms itself into a true profession where you're looking at having highest competence and highest integrity and ethical standards. And usually it's through training, it's through the continuous professional development that was talked about, through research, through consultancy. And that's what it is. So one would say, so then what is that profession? What's a true profession? And the descriptor for the profession really is that it's a group of disciplined individuals. Imagine, profession is a group of disciplined individuals who adhere to ethical and competence standards, and they know themselves to be knowledgeable in this subject, and also that the public knows them as such. And again, through the learning, through the research, through the consultancy. So professionalization is the process, and that process can be done by a trade or an occupation. However, if you are not yet professionalized yourself and your trade is, it is also a process by which you can transform yourself into a true professional. I liked it very much when Derek mentioned that some people find themselves in court only to be surprised that they are not accountants. So that's what it really is, that you may be something, but before you belong to this disciplined group of people, then you're not yet a professional. Now, some of the things that are known of professionals or professionalism is, first of all, that specialized knowledge that we've talked about. There is the bit of integrity. There is the bit of competence. There is the bit of accountability. You don't say you don't know. You really hold yourself accountable for everything that you actually do. And of course, there is the issue of confidentiality. Now, why are all these important for career? These are important for career because when we all go into careers, we are going into a company, we're going into an organization, and you're hoping to get to the helm or to the top of any organization, or your career for that matter, whatever it may be. And the reason people do this or advance is because they are creating value. Now, I want to talk about the three aspects of value, and I'll use a marketing perspective using the 3 C's, and that is, of course, your company, what your company is offering in terms of products, in terms of services, in terms of values. And then there is the issue of competition. So how does your company deliver compared to competition? And then, of course, there is the customer. So you have the customer, you have your offer, you have the customer, and you've got the competition. Now, whoever is more professional, in which case we are talking about competence, we are talking about integrity, we are talking about specialized knowledge, we are talking about confidentiality. So whichever company can say has got the most people, for instance, that can actually deliver professionalism, will then beat the competition. Now, that is in terms of a company. What about as an individual? So whichever individual is able to deliver all these things competently and well will then be able to beat the competition, the other competition in terms of the career and what you're doing. So the role it plays to career development, much more than that. I would like to, Ronald, you're getting me into saying a few secrets here, but I'll do it because I remember Derek said, some people have knowledge that is taught and others have experience, and they really, and I think it's better to have both. So I would like to use myself as an example. My first degree, many times people ask me, how come you're into public relations? How come you're into marketing? How come you're into all these things? And yet you did food science and technology as your first degree. And I want to say I've seen some of the, even the best bankers. I've seen so many people, accountants become doctors, doctors become accountants, lawyers, and all these things. And it's because of the opportunity of this. But I'll tell you a simple story. So I did, my first degree is food science and technology, right? And in one of the course units we did was fermentation technology. Surprise, surprise. And I enjoyed it very much. We also did marketing of products. And I also enjoyed that very much. So as I get out of the university, there is this beautiful, opportunity of course, you start off with those little things that you all know. I'm here, I'm at a shop here, I'm doing that. And this opportunity comes up and they're looking for brewers. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. So once I'm a food scientist, it means I have to go to either into nutrition or food processing, so they're teaching me all these things, but not one particular thing. So I see brewing and I'm like, brewing? And I'm like, yeah, but I enjoyed fermentation technology. I said, beautiful. So let me try it. I go, and of course, I'm the only lady. And luckily, the cohort was all the graduates in my year. We were all Yamets, and we all got the jobs. I think our fermentation technology teacher was very good, or professor was very good. So I get there, and we start. And when we start, the first thing they tell us is, no, you've got to do some brewing exams with the Institute of Brewing and Distillery and Distilling. So I did exams and I had to become an associate brewer. So that was on top of my degree, I had to do that. Along the way, as we are going about our business, enjoying our science, an opportunity comes and there is an internal advertisement for marketing. And believe you me, everybody around me thought I was cut out for marketing. But I wasn't. I didn't feel like it. I wanted my science very, very much. I am very passionate about science. So I was like, no, I would like to stay here. But that kept on coming. I started thinking about family, how I have to brew in the night, doing shift work, and say, okay, let me try this marketing bit. And I go into marketing. When I go into marketing, you can imagine how Uganda breweries feels that they are confident enough to take me as a brewer into marketing, and you know how serious they take marketing. But they were, because they have an academy, a brand building academy, a Diageo brand building academy. And what an academy. Now, that academy was powerful. So we did all the marketing, and I think we excelled at it. We excelled, our brands were high up there, I was managing well, and things went very well, and I started to enjoy marketing. So everybody was like, you were in the kitchen, yet you could do this. So what is it again doing for me? Professionalism or professional bodies or programs allow you to find a new you, find opportunities wherever they are. Doesn't mean that I can never go back to brewing. I would have to just do a refresher course or something and do it, but it gives you that versatility. So we do the marketing, and then long story short, of course, then you know how to test the beer. When you're out with people in promotions, you know what that does. And then, you're also enjoying marketing as you go along. So then it comes a time when you're thinking, God, I'm out there in all these promotions here, there, what, again, family calls. And I get an opportunity, and luckily by that time, the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, the CEO was an alumni, if I may call it, an old girl of Uganda Breweries. So I think they quite knew what Uganda Breweries brought on board. The position was business and marketing manager. Now, I'd never done any business, but I knew marketing and I knew brands. So I do the interview, and yeah, I get the position. So I go and I'm like, okay, wildlife will make me more in touch with things like family, people, and whatever. Let me do it. When I get there, the first thing they tell me is, the biggest thing we need here is a business plan. So I'm like, business plan. I like learning. Say, yes, it's your first deliverable. So the business plan is my first deliverable. I'm a food scientist and a marketer. I walk into Aristoc because the degree gave you that sort of thing, a bit of financier, I walk into Aristoc, I get a book, I go and write a business plan. I read it, book end to end, I go write a business plan, and voila, the center gets funded. Now it gets funded because of the business plan. And the donor actually asks me to go write another business plan for somebody else, another institution. So you can see clearly what is playing here. And then at some point, the center, the funds begin to dwindle, and the center wants to focus on education. And they say that business and marketing, education is the core. So for now, why don't we get business and marketing and merge it with education? And I say to myself, no way, I am going to be a marketer, and that's what I've decided to do. So I'll pursue that career. I'm not going to do that. And I left. And when I left, I say to myself, there is nobody else who's going to believe in me for what I've done if I don't do a qualification in marketing. And that's how I went into CIM. Now I want to tell you that from the moment I did CIM, of course, with the delivery, with the whatever you do, I have not had to go out myself to apply for a role. I have been asked to apply for a role. But how is this possible? It's because of the opportunity to professionalize, the opportunity to read, the opportunity to empower oneself, and then the opportunity to practice what you have read. Now, I thought I would tell you that small story. So then, of course, you go into things like, you go into, and then you become a president of a Public Relations Association of Uganda. How does that happen? Because there's PR in marketing or in the training that I did. And then you go on and be head of this, head of that, and then before you know it, all organizations require certain aspects at a certain lifetime, or one of their, in a stage of their lifetime. And now I'm here. So I thought I would share with you what professionalism does and how it contributes to career growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Goretti, for a beautiful story shared. It's very inspirational. I must say you've put a slap right in the faces of people who think, you just do one qualification and then that's enough for you to move up the career later. People always dream about promotions and big salaries, but from what I've just heard, this comes at a cost of putting in the hard effort and going to study amidst juggling quite a number of challenges, being a father or a mother in the home, and being a community member, having a full-time job, and so many of those responsibilities. Thank you so much for the story. It's been inspirational, and I believe many of us on call have picked about to borrow a leaf from Goretti and her story, right from being a brewer to becoming the kind of professional and business leader that she is today. There is a comment coming in from Raymond Adrico. Hello, Goretti. Thanks for sharing your experience. Your experience, quite inspiring. Thank you. There are so many Raymonds on call, I believe, who are not able to express their feedback with us or share their comments, but it's really inspiring. Thank you so much, Goretti. Now, I want to move on to the next question, and I think this will go to Jonan. Jonan, being a member of the Institute of, being a member of the Institute of Insurance here in Uganda and a leader at the Institute, insurance, like you've said, is one of those very tricky businesses. And I must agree with you. Although on my side, I believe that for all serious people, insurance is actually a basic human right. It's a must-have. That's how much I value insurance on my side. Now, Jonan, when we look around, the United Kingdom or the UK is actually one of those countries that has a very powerful professional body culture. And we are seeing that the institutes of, the financial services bodies, the financial services professional bodies actually formed a merger, which is the alliance of chartered bodies. CC and the Chartered Institute of Insurance and the London Institute of Banking and Financial Services are under that body. You've talked about CC, you've talked about the Chartered Institute of Insurance. I believe that kind of arrangement is good, and I must say I'm really happy to know that you are also a member of the Senate here. Probably it's possible that we have that kind of arrangement. My question here is really, what's your take on having that kind of alliance or professional bodies here? Because it definitely, sure enough, will give us economies of synergy, but we are not yet there. Why are we not yet there? And what's your take? Like, what's your take about this going forward as professional bodies? Janan.
Thank you, Raymond.
Ronald,
yes, for that question. And of course, I would want to also thank Goretti for sharing that inspirational story. And I like the way you actually sort of iced it with the fact that it is hard work, it comes at a cost. Because, if you listen to the story, you might think that when you have the professional qualification, a lot will come chasing after you. But it takes a lot of effort, cost, sacrifice to get these professional qualifications and then to be at the level where the opportunities are coming and running after you. But you asked about the issue of coming together. I know that definitely the Chartered Body Alliance, which brings together CII, CC, and the Chartered Banker Institute in the UK, comes as a result of wanting to ensure that professionalism or professional bodies speak one language. Now, I will tell you that, for example, if you look at the aspect of membership, for all professional bodies or institutions, the membership arm is an important one. And always we are looking at how best can we add value to our membership. Now, one of the ways that we can be able to add value to our membership is by coming together. And I am happy to report that the Insurance Training College, ICPAU, Uganda Institute of Bankers and Financial Services, and all the other professional bodies are in sort of discussions to see how best we can form a body that then speaks for all of us, or an association. Now, the beauty about an association is that it makes lobbying a lot easier, but also you will find that we have members who belong to these 3 or 4 institutions. You will find that there are members who belong to the Insurance Training College, but they also belong to the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services. The case in point are the bankers who now sell insurance through bancassurance. Unless we come together and sort of complement or supplement each other's efforts, then there is a lot of duplication. So one of the aspects that we could be able to work around, and I think that association will be able to sort out, is the aspect of the joint membership, such that, you know, if you are a professional in Uganda, you then have membership across these different professional bodies. Now, the other thing that helps us in terms of forming a joint body, just like the CPA of the UK, is the issue of lobbying. Now, I'll tell you that, for example, we all subscribe and are licensed by the National Council for Higher Education under the Tertiary Institutions Act. Unfortunately, that act was meant for academic institutions. Now, my colleagues have clearly told you that the issue of professionalism or professional institutions is an aspect of plug and play. It's an aspect of experience. In the university or in an academic institution, they will tell you a lot of theory. In a professional institution, it is an issue of plug and play, that what you learn today, you go and practice tomorrow. Now, unfortunately, if you look at the National Council, which is our regulator, they were formed to sort of license and regulate academic institutions. So they do not exactly understand how we operate. Now, if we are a body that comes together through an association, it also helps us to lobby such that we represent the professional side to National Council that predominantly understands academic institutions. If you look at that law, there are so many aspects that, yes, are good for academic institutions, but do not apply to professional institutions, either because of our nature of membership or nature of students. A case in point is that the majority of our students are working professionals. They already have a job somewhere, so they're not full-time students, but they do this on a part-time basis. Now, the other thing that we can do with this association is research. Now, if you look around the financial services sector, there is a lot of information that is lacking in terms of product development, in terms of enriching our courses, in terms of adding value to our membership. So if we are able to come together, we are able to conduct joint research that speaks to the professional bodies. And like I mentioned, you will find that there are members who have subscribed to all these professional bodies. Now, the value, adding value to our membership, one way that can be achieved is through us coming together, such that if, for example, at the Insurance Training College, there is a training course that is running, a short-term training course that is running, that is relevant to the banker, relevant to the accountant, because you see, the insurance industry employs beyond insurers. We have got accountants, we have got administrators, we have got marketeers, we've got so many other, even human resource practitioners. So it is one way of ensuring that if, for example, a short-term training is offered at the Insurance Training College, how then do these other professionals tap into for the benefit of their profession, or in terms of their job and what they do, and adding value to their workplace. So for me, I think that us coming together is long overdue. Yes, we have been speaking with the different professional training institutions. It is work in progress, but would want to get to a point where we now come together and collaborate. Derek was saying that, the international, I think it's the IFA for accountants, where now you can be able to go in and be able to search about the ICPA of Uganda. We want to reach at that level whereby you can access my website, but then you're able to get information on other professional institutions. And I would want to applaud the Uganda Institute of Bankers and Financial Services. I know you've created a website that is trying to bring us together in terms of sharing knowledge, sharing information. So there's a one-stop center where now information can be accessed by all professionals. If you want information around banking and you're in insurance, you can then go to this website. If you want information about insurance and you're in banking, you can also be able to go to this website. So yes, this is the right direction. And I cannot wait for us to sort of action this and have this association up and running. Yes, Sir Ronald. Ronald, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Janan, for trying to drive this point home. We appreciate that there is effort already underway to come up with a sort of alliance, and I hope that this is only the beginning of a very long journey, and the different activities that will go along it. Thank you, Janan. Now, my next question is to Derek. Derek, first of all, Derek, I want to thank you so much for championing the effort for a lack of better word, to champion the effort to Ugandanize the accounting profession. Thank you so much for that. You alluded to the fact that in your introduction that you found problems with professionals or expatriates coming in without any accounting problem, without any accounting background, and taking on leadership roles and supervising accountants professionally trained here in Uganda. Thank you for Ugandanizing our accounting profession. Now, this brings me to another point that you alluded to still in the introductory remarks. You talked about accounting being one of the most regulated professions the world over, and to that extent, I think I do agree, and many people on call still will agree with you. Accounting is very highly regulated all over the world. And to that extent, we see that many professional bodies talk about ethics. They talk about ethics and ethical behavior as one of the key pillars on which they hinge whatever they do. But yet again, if you read through business literature, you watch business media, you'll find that we continue to see a number of ethical breaches, especially in the corporate world. This now begs the question: why do we continue to see these kind of ethical breaches, even when we talk about ethics as one of the key pillars of professional bodies? I wouldn't love to mention specific cases, but we all know the issues around ethics when it comes to especially accounting. Derek, please, we just love to know, are professional bodies failing in their regulatory role? What is actually happening? Derek.
Thank you, Ronald, and thank you everyone who has continued to listen in and for organizing. Really, it's an interesting talk. As panelists, we're also learning, so it's good as Jonathan said, that it's good that we all connect and create a framework where all professions can learn from each other. Now, ethics is the core of professionalism. And I'm not going to use any academic angle to it. I'm just going to give you my observations and public experience over the years. We have seen, yes, these breaches. We are seeing some failures, but I want us to really look at the failures. I'm going to use the example of the financial crunch. I'm going to start off with the Enron. If anyone understands Enron's failure, it had an accounting angle. But I always tell people that the actual failure of Enron was the lack of supervisors, energy supervisors. Because what they were accounting for was energy. The contracts were all for energy. It will be like, for example, here, if you look at Umeme, ESCOM, something like that, and then you trust that that establishment can only be looked at from an accounting angle. So there is a call that all professions must be ethical. All professions should work jointly, each to bring their experience. We have seen that failure. If you look at the financial crunch, if you look at that financial crunch, the first were all, and which he brought this Sabanis Oxley, and the first people they ran to were the accountants. Where were the accountants? And at times we are over-regulated for no fault of our own. After about 4 years, then the truth started to come out that actually the accountants had already pointed out these failures, that this is a time bomb, it will come. And it actually came because it was a banker's issue. So we need to come together and we all strengthen our ethical conduct. I always tell the public that professionalism is rooted in public interest. So all professional bodies, if we fail to see the public interest when we are looking at our development of our membership, supervising the membership, continuous learning of the membership, and we fail the public interest or the public trust, then ethical dilemmas are going to continue to come. Why do they come? Because man is inherently selfish. And we are told the fraudster specialists tell us that everyone is a potential fraudster. It's only the environment around you that shapes you in the human being you should be. So there's a need for these professionals to come around and surround themselves with the pillars of the profession, surround themselves with the people who can give them insights for them to participate in that profession and deliver the public interest. Be it if you are doing it for your personal value, personal gain, or when you are doing it for an institutional gain. You can still earn from your professionalism without committing ethical dilemmas. So as we continue to develop this segment of professionalism, I would not want to say it is only the regulatory failure. It is all of us professional failures. One, I have seen professionals, the moment they click the membership, they spend 3 years without ever interfacing with the body. Even 3 years, that is the little. I've seen people who have registered at the institute for the last 5 years and there's no mail to them, there's no mail from them, they have no visit, they have not attended the continuous professional development. The only thing they do is to pay the subscription. They send the subscription and that's the last you see from them. Now, those are potential ethical dilemmas, if you may take it in that loosely, that the chances of them doing something wrong are high because they do not want to be around. If you look at the jungle, any buffalo that strays from the herd becomes fodder for the lion. So you need to be, as a professional, to be around. So the ethical dilemmas are because of the way the professionals have started to conduct themselves. If our professional bodies failing the regulatory role, I'll probably say no or yes, yes and no, or no and yes. Why do I say no? It's because we regulate human beings, and the public has not developed, be it here or outside Uganda, the habit of reporting issues before they go out of hand. For instance, we ran a campaign here in Uganda asking employers that if you have an accountancy position, please let us know the people who are in that position to verify for you at no cost. I can assure you we got less than 30 in the entire Uganda. Recently, we ran, because we are trying to implement the law, public interest entities, the local governments, those listed on stock exchange. So we, at the banks, we sent out asking, this time we had used some information, people were complaining, and then we said, we have learned that so and so, or the position, we never mentioned names. We just said, we have learned that the individual in the position of, so we mentioned the position, is not a member of the institute. Please clarify. I can assure you, we sent about 200 letters and less than 50 replied. And yet we know, true, those people are not members of the institute. So we have a culture within the public that does not see the wrong as a wrong, does not see the professionalism that is helping them. So you really see them later. I used to have about 3 or 4 years ago, I used to get letters from local governments, district governments, complaining about accountants, until I told them the people you have employed are not accountants. And that's when the problem stopped, because I used the association to tell them that you guys, these complaints, we can't help you because we cannot even investigate. We can't investigate for anyone who is not our member. We cannot do anything. And so we need to understand that regulatory role is not a one-man show. It's connectedness of the regulators, connectedness of the professionals to make sure that the regulatory framework works. So the other angle you'd look at is that the regulators at times do not have enough resources to up their game. That's where I will say the regulatory framework failing on the side of the professional bodies. This morning, I was on a webinar where we are debating technologies, the effect of technologies on practicing accountancy in the world and Uganda in particular. And majority of the participants were saying sampling, if you say you have sampled 30%, you have not audited, because the technologies around can do 100% sample, which means 100% verification. So if you use, because remember, professionalism was about the standards that you have developed as a profession, but now the standards are moving with the advancement of technology. So if you come back and you have written this report and you say, oh, I did 30% sampling, that was my materiality, and there is a fraud in the other 70, the public will be angry with you. They may not understand the professional angle, but even as the professional regulators will be angry with you and ask, in this day and age, with this data analytics, why did you do a sampling of only 30? Why didn't you do 70 and you leave the 30? So those are the dynamics where the professional bodies probably come up, where the environment changes rapidly and there are no resources to really come up with a framework of regulation in the new environment, because it's very costly to draft and create regulatory framework. It involves stakeholders, it involves the designing, it involves a lot of things. And by the time you fulfill it, it may have skipped some ethical issues, and that regulatory failure can happen. I want to stop there for now and probably only answer questions that arise from that angle. Ronald?
Thank you so much, Derek, for the insight and for bringing out clearly that, it's a 50-50. We can't rely entirely on professional bodies to do the ethical policing, but also on the other hand that we have a duty to make sure that we enforce ethics as professional bodies, and also to bring to the fore that, like in the cases of big corporate scandals like that of Enron, the accountants had done their job. Thank you so much for shedding a light on that. Now, as we edge towards the end of our webinar event today, we have about 10 minutes to be exact. And I feel that two questions that are really important for us to, at least say something about. The first one is going to be directed to Goretti, and then the other one, I would love to hear from both Derek and Jonan. Because of time, I would love that we use at least 3 minutes maximum each for responding to these questions. Now, the first one is to Goretti, like I've said, and we are looking at one of the leaders of a professional body, and this is Chris Blyth, the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Builders in the UK. He said that our members, he said, and I quote, "Our members wouldn't be human if they didn't wonder what they actually get out of their subscriptions. It's good that they do, and this keeps us on our toes." So now this brings us to the question to say, what's neat that our members actually get out of their subscriptions that they pay to our professional bodies on an annual basis? What do we offer our members? And I know many people on call are asking the same question, and many potential subscribers and possibly even current members ask the same question. Goretti, how would you respond to this kind of a person with that kind of a question? Thank you, Goretti.
Thank you very much, Ronald. And I'll speak, I know that all of us on the call have a specific range of benefits for the members. Now I'm going to speak to banking, as it were, and I would like to anchor it or start it off where I stopped in terms of career and progression. Now, what's interesting about banking is, unlike our friends now, wherever the level they've got to in terms of insurance to practice, you need to have this. In terms of accountancy, if you're not a member, then you're not an accountant. We are yet to get there. So you find that a number of people who come into banking are graduates of anything. So the first benefit one gets as a member of the institute, and that is starting after Friday, is that you will be anchored. You start off with that foundation. We have got, like, for instance, a basic banking course that we are going to give every member. Whoever signs up as a member will get that free. Previously, it was given for about 500,000 shillings. Now that is going to come free to anybody who signs up. Now that will enable them to understand a bit of end-to-end in banking, where they are, a sort of foundation to make you understand. It's very difficult to give value to an organization when you just have your degree, you come in and you just have a small eye view of tailoring, for instance. You can, if you don't understand the spectrum or the ecosystem. Now, this basic banking will enable them to have an understanding of the ecosystem. Beyond that, as we have indicated, the Chartered Banker program that we are talking about, which we have now aligned to the membership categories, is giving people a more understanding of the various aspects of banking. Now, banking is wide. While you're in there, you might find that you want to do corporate banking. You might find that you want to do retail banking. You might find that you want to do treasury. You might find that you want to do risk and compliance. You might find that you want to do credit, operations. You want to be a financial analyst. You want to do fintech. So these are all things that have now been factored into the Chartered Banker program, for instance, and it gives you an idea. Now, beyond that, as a member, you then get exposed to continuous professional development, for instance. We haven't been having that, but we're going to have a robust one. We are saying every month there must be a CPD, a program for each of these different aspects, or what we are calling work streams. And so even if I'm working in a certain department, I have a free one that I can attend through about another that can sort of advise me if that's where I want to go. So the whole issue of exposure, the whole thing of benefiting from what is available at no additional cost is going to be very important for our people in terms of professional development. Another thing we are doing, and Derek has spoken to it, is using data analytics. We are getting digital. So everything is going to be seamless. You'll be online, you apply online, you check on your status online, in terms of your CPDs and all that. That's going to be online. But what's also going to help us do is we're going to find like-minded people. So you're a member of the entire institute. But then there might be people, and we've created work streams. So if I'm in operations, I want to relate with other people in operations. I want to understand what challenge do I have, how can I improve in terms of growth. So communities, you have an opportunity to belong to a sort of community or work stream, and where you can sort of bounce off ideas. The other thing is mentorship. I think I've spoken to a number of MDs, and I can assure you most of them would like to be able to mentor. And also I've spoken to a number of bankers that have actually said, we would like to train. So there's someone who would like to be there and do something free. And this is very good for the younger people coming on. So we're going to have a mentorship program that will come probably a little later, maybe somewhere mid next year, or maybe around April. That is also going to be available, that you can get into a mentorship program, and you can also get to mentor others. It doesn't have to be CEOs only. And because we've learned that in training, you learn. Then of course we've got the different events. We've got the Bankers Gala, the Sports Gala. We've got the awards. We are going to have a number of these events that you can go to at a subsidized rate as members. Those that we can do at little or no cost, those will actually also be there. Then of course there are the publications. And then we are starting to take consultancy seriously, as well as inclusion. So the fact that we are going to be doing consultancy, you can also benefit from that, or you might actually be called on to take up a consultancy role. Because one of the things that really is difficult to be a consultant if you don't have a hands-on training or even specialized training. So this is going to enable our people to benefit and derive more value from membership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Goretti, for shedding a light on the benefits of subscription. I know every person who belongs to a professional body has a form of benefits that they get out of their subscriptions, and at least the few that Goretti has alluded to are enough. But I want also to emphasize that that's just a tip of the iceberg. There are so many more benefits that come, by virtue of membership to a professional body. Now, we have just a very few minutes remaining, but this is a very important one, and I wouldn't love to leave without getting the opinions of our panelists on this in just a minute for both Derek and Jonan, a minute for each. We love to learn about how our local professional body sector is adapting to emerging challenges, the challenges of globalization, the challenges of commercial pressure, technology, culture shifts, all these kind of things. How are we as Uganda's professional body sector responding to these kind of emerging challenges? What does the future hold for the professional body sector in our country? I'll start with Jonan, please.
Thank you, Ronald, for that question. Definitely for me, I believe that these challenges are an opportunity for this sector. I'll tell you, for example, when you talk about globalization, the commercial pressures, the technology aspects. Now, with globalization, it just simply means that we are now under a lot more scrutiny. It means that we have to up our game, and for us as the Insurance Training College, we've done that. We need to up our game, our qualifications, our membership services, because then our members are comparing us with others within the global village. One of the examples I gave you is that, for example, we have been able to connect with the Chartered Insurance Institute of the UK, where now all our programs are recognized for prior learning. It means that one can now apply for a CII course using the ITC qualification. Now, that again speaks volumes in terms of how we can be able to adopt and provide a better service to our clients. Of course, when you talk about technology, when you talk about the commercial pressures, for example, the costs are going up. There is a tendency of us now trying to pass on these costs to our members out there by, for example, increasing on the costs of the different courses that we offer. But you see, we have a service to offer our members. We are mandated to professionalize our different industries. Again, we have to be very careful how we then manage these costs, so that as we pass on the costs to our members, they are passed on in a manageable way without necessarily affecting our mandate, which is then to professionalize our different industries. Of course, in the issues of technology, cultural shifts, I know you've forgotten now one of the biggest challenges we faced in terms of the pandemic. We've had to rethink our processes. We've had to rethink our methods of delivery. We've had to rethink our course contents. Again, for many of us, including the Insurance Training College, when the pandemic came, we were not ready. But again, we've tried to use this as an opportunity to try and adjust, and we've seen a lot of cost savings. Because you see, with the pandemic, it means that, or it meant that we now need to use the option of using technology to reach our members in terms of training, but also in terms of offering other membership services. But also we've become much more creative in terms of what we do and the sort of membership value that we give our members. So today for us as the Insurance Training College, all our courses are now online. We have been able to develop a platform, and we've realized huge savings through this online method of delivery. And also we would want to see how to pass on some of these cost savings our members out there. So as a professional training body, I think the issue of the challenges and pressures to change, again, like I mentioned, yes, there have been a bit of an issue, but for us as the Insurance Training College, we've looked at these as opportunities to see how best we can offer a better package to our members, to our students, and also to a wider insurance services sector. Yeah. Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you so much for the insight, Jonan. I can only add that your optimism is one to be admired. Thank you so much. Derek, what do you have to add on what Jonan just alluded to in regard to the challenges faced by the industry, and what does the future hold for the professional board sector here in Uganda?
Thank you, Ronald. Thank you, Jonan. That was wonderful. It's like we had compared notes, and that's the true essence of professionalism. A professional, you must always be optimistic and agile, so that if there are any changes that come and require your expertise, but you are not yet ready, you need to think through how fast to adapt and move on with your professionalism. If all you can recall, or if you don't remember, the history of accountancy has been around for about 500 years. When the computer was invented, people thought that the accountants are going to die out. Instead, the accountants became added, the computers gave the accountants an added advantage to deliver their work. Right now, automation and artificial intelligence, people are saying, oh, the accountants are doing routine work, it's going to go out. We have already seen where the accountants have value, even in artificial intelligence, because these technologies cannot be 100% sure to deliver what is required within the market. So it's important that for all professional bodies that they should be able to adapt, they should be agile enough, understand the regulatory framework, move on to offer new ways how they can service their members. One aspect which we all have to agree is that we should not use subscription as a way of developing our professions. Subscription is just an entry point for the member to affiliate. But when you look at what we offer, and probably so many professions don't understand it, what we offer cannot be covered by the subscriptions that are given. So as professional bodies, I always say, let's try to have our subscriptions a bit lower. For us, we took an angle that we delay increasing subscription by 2 to 3 years, but 2 to 3 years inflation has occurred, general price increments of even which are not recorded in our inflationary tendencies have occurred. But you don't want to take away the professionals. So yes, we suffer these commercial pressures, but we strive to make sure that there are other areas that fairly cover the cost structure of the professional body. And the most important part is that you are a professional body, you are not in a commercial profit making. You are in a public trust, you are in public interest. Yes, work within a surplus, or at best work within a break even. Do not work within a deficit. As accountants, the Institute took the option of organic growth. There were pressures that we're doing less, but the numbers were not supporting. So we couldn't borrow for operations that will take us into a deficit. And we have gone with that model for up to where we are. And we believe that it is the natural way for a professional body to develop. Go with the economy, go with the maths, go with what you see within your members, and develop a service that is able to support the members to grow, but also support the professional body to grow. So that answers the culture shifts. And when the cultures shift, determine whether the profession is still relevant. If not, find what is in, because for instance, for accountants, we are debating how an accountant lives in artificial intelligence atmosphere. And we are starting to align ourselves with our members, giving them information. We have started to source for tools. And when the culture shifts, there is a huge investment for professional bodies. That's what professional members also need to know, so that even when they are demanding certain things from the body, they should be ready either to mobilize resources or to increase subscription to make sure that this professional body can deliver the change needed. But in all aspects, when globalization comes, commercial pressures come, technology comes, the professional body must shift and go to the right direction. The last one, when we talk about globalization, I always tell people who want to listen that it is a very big woolly word, as my professor used to say. Globalization is a woolly word, which means it's a word that really you cannot touch. But in it, there are so many untold truths or untold untruths. One of the things that we all still require a passport. There are still regulations when you are working in another regulation, another territory. Even if you are the best, you may not operate. For instance, if you're a doctor and you move on to another jurisdiction, you may not perform a surgery, even if you know. We had a colleague who was in Australia. They moved with the family to do his advanced qualification. He knew what their child was suffering from, but he could not touch the child because the laws of Australia, you cannot touch the child. You cannot touch a patient. So if you're not registered in Australia. So he had to call London to find if there is someone who knows a pediatrician in Australia that understands tropical diseases to be referred. So jurisdictions are still existing. Yes, there's a global, but jurisdictions still exist. And as we train our professions, tell them to have that at the back of the mind, that if they are offering a service in another jurisdiction, even if it's by technology, make sure that you understand the jurisdiction you are offering the service to, and be able to speak the needs of that jurisdiction and comply with the requirements. We have had several challenges around East Africa where we see accountants from other jurisdictions do some assurance work, and there is a problem, and then they hurriedly come now to register in Uganda because the case is going to court. And we tell them, registration is a process. Please put in your paper. I said, no, the court is sitting next week. The court, yes, let it sit next week. How did you start the work when you are not applying the rules of the game? Because in professionalism, you're supposed to apply the available rules. So globalization, I always tell people that we train people to be global citizens, but you must speak to the jurisdictional nature where you're offering your services. Ronald, back to you.
Thank you so much, Derek. Everything is about optimism. We appreciate that. We have come to the end of our...
Ronald?
Yes, please. It's okay. You can...
I'd like to request, could we just give 2 minutes, and if they can make it 2 minutes to our guests to just highlight a little bit about the benefits for their membership, kindly.
Thank you, Goret, for the reminder. Please, Jonan, you can go. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Of course, membership, and I remember, Ronald, you mentioned that we've done a lot of lobbying to increase our membership, but the other thing that we have done is to try and create value. That if you're a member of the Insurance Training College, you must be able to see the value that comes along with your membership. So that's another aspect besides lobbying, which is targeted to capacity building and ensuring that our members understand what they do out there in the field. We also offer membership services. One of those that we do, we offer free trainings. If you are a member, you will have access to free trainings. So every quarter, we'll issue out our calendar that shows the trainings that you can attend without paying a single coin, but it's part of your membership package. Now, the other thing that we normally do also is to discount our trainings. Now, our certified trainings are highly discounted for our members. If you're not a member, you will then pay a little bit of a higher rate. That again speaks to the short-term trainings for capacity building. So again, where it's inevitable for us to charge, again, the member will have a bit of a discount. Now, I told you that the insurance industry is a wide industry that employs so many other people outside insurance, accountants, human resource, HR practitioners, marketeers. Again, we have got a well-stocked library that does not only limit our books to just insurance, but you will find that our library, you will access books on accounting, books on marketing, books on human resource. These, again, are benefits to our members, that if you're a member, you don't have to access only insurance-related material, but you can also access material that would help you in your other professional journey. It could be marketing, it could be accounting. And these, again, are free. We don't charge anything. And this library, we also now have an e-library where you can now access not only our publications, our materials for training, but also the other insurance-related journals, for example, and information. We've subscribed, we have a huge database here. And if you are a member, you can access this information for research, for decision-making, for product development. Again, those are all benefits of membership. Now, we have also been able to provide networking opportunities. Again, as members of the Insurance Training College, you have opportunities to then network with people who are like you. So we have a number of networking opportunities, talk about the International Insurance Conference, talk about the sports gala, talk about many other. Now we run a series of webinars as well, just that are informative and also for networking opportunities. So again, these speak to the benefits of membership. Now, of course, the other thing that we are trying to do now is to partner now with other service providers. For example, hotels, petrol stations, supermarkets. We are now going to launch a membership benefit that then gives you discounts at different retail outlets. Talk about a supermarket, talk about a fuel station, talk about if you go to a gym, for example, in Hotel Africana, we are again at advanced stages of ensuring that our members can access discounts when they go to access some of these services. So these are just some of the quick ones I can be able to give the listener out there. But again, we are always improving our membership. Our membership with CII is also improving. Very soon, we're going to launch a joint membership proposal, whereby if you are a member of the Insurance Training College, you will also be automatically a member of the Chartered Insurance Institute of the UK, amongst other things that will come along with that membership. Over to you, Ronald.
Thank you so much, Jonan. You talk so passionately about membership to your institution, and you just want to make me pick up membership. But also, just a quick one. We at the institute, we also, I think Goret didn't mention the issue of library facilities. We have a well-stocked library, and our members also have access to that facility. That's just a rejoinder to the benefits of membership. Derek, do you want to come in now and talk about the benefits of subscribing to ICPAU?
Thank you. On top of those that Janan has mentioned, because these professions somehow are similar to each other, like you have just said, Ronald, that you also have a library, which had not been talked about. So some of these things are very similar, but we don't have a library, I would say, for us. We are still working on how to have a library because we have very divergent cost structuring for the libraries we have seen around. One of the things I always tell people who are trying to connect professions is that the structuring of subscription should not be really too prohibitive. I appreciate Jonan is trying to connect the Ugandans to the UK professional bodies. But there was a very nice library which we had seen. It was about membership only, and we could actually join it with the twinning of another professional body. I will not mention the country and the names. But we realized that what we are actually going to do is to double the membership subscription and give that to the other body. And yet, your mandate is to grow professionalism in the jurisdiction. So we are lacking there in the library, but all the other things Jonan has talked about, we do. We're also looking at having discounts on several outlets, but the dilemma is the profiling of the members. Members likes and dislikes are very interesting. So sometimes the partners look at the numbers and they say, no, you are still very few. One extra thing which probably Jonan did not talk about, which we do, is that we act as the consultants to our members. Our members, anyone who has a technical issue at work, be it even a practicing accountant who is doing it for a fee, or a staff doing it for a salary, we are available for consultation. And we offer, if you disclose everything you have at your depot, we will give you a professional view on how you should go about it or what you should do that nature. That we do not charge anyone because we believe as a professional body that is part of our value to the members, that they can tap into the wealth of knowledge available. We're able to connect around the members. We may probably, it might be a new area and we probably don't have it at the office there and then, but there may be a member whom we can approach, who another profession will not be able to approach without paying for the service. So for us, we can approach, get the details, get the options, and we offer that to a member at no cost. So that's how we create value for the members' subscription.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much, Derek. Maybe just in addition, one of the participants here, David Musoke, says that when you are a CPA member, you can become a CPA circle member also, where you can save and borrow at favorable rates. That's another benefit for CPA membership. Just some comments here, just a few. Doreen Nangalama says, very insightful discussion, which has triggered a personal evaluation on how to advance professionally. Thank you. Sylvia Kugonza says, thank you so much, Derek, for the presentation. And she asks a question which we are not going to respond to in the interest of time. Is there any plan for ICPAU to fix the minimum wage to be paid to professional accountants? Professionally, I mean, probably that's something that, Derek, you may wish to refer to, you know, at a later stage back at the office, or do something about it on your website. In the interest of time, we will not be responding to that kind of, I mean, the questions now. There are some questions here. I beg your pardon?
That you tell the person to contact me.
Okay, the person, Sylvia Kugonza, if you are still on call, please contact Derek for further engagement on that. Raymond Adrico had sent in quite a number of questions regarding insurance, but Adrico, what I want to emphasize here is that this webinar is strictly for careers and professionalism. If you want to have your comments responded to, you can go to our web portal, which is www.yourmoneyken.or.ug. We've done webinars on insurance, and many of the issues you raise here have been responded to. Having said that, we have come to the end.
I attempted to respond to some of his questions. I don't know if you saw my responses.
Okay, thank you, Janan. Raymond Adrico, Janan says he attempted to respond to some of the questions that you raised, and we wonder whether you saw the responses. And my IT resource here tells me the responses were seen by Adrico. Thank you so much, Janan. Now, I want to say that we have come to the end of our webinar for today, and I want to thank you so much, our panelists, for saving the time to be with us. It's almost 20 minutes into the next hour. I must say that it's been insightful and engaging. That's why we have been able to keep on for this long. Thank you so much, Janan Kisache. Thank you so much, Derek Nkaja. And most importantly, thank you so much, Goretti Masade, our Chief Executive Officer, for inspiring these debates around financial services awareness and the professionalism, plus sharing such a very inspiring story. We also want to say thank you so much for our participants who have kept on through the 2 and 20 minute session since the time we started up to now. We thank you so much for sparing time. We also say thank you to our strategic partners. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Bank of Africa, Uganda, and to the various sponsors of the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month, the different players of the insurance, or the different players of the banking and financial services sector. Tomorrow, we will be having yet another webinar. The time is going to be communicated, time, topic, and panelists are going to be communicated in a due course, like you always see the invitations. On Friday, we have the launch of our new membership program, and it's going to be the climax as well for our Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month. We invite each and every one of you to be with us. The event will be live streamed, and we invite you to join us virtually. Many of you have been invited to be on site, but for those of you who can't make it to site because of the restrictions around COVID, we invite you to join us on call, just like we have done on this event. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. From me, Ronald Mugwanya, and the entire team at the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, my colleague, Derek Lubega, the IT resource, we are saying thank you for being with us, and bye-bye.
Your money can enable you to live a better life only when you budget and save before you spend. Act now. Learn how to manage your income and expenditure correctly at the Banking Financial Services Awareness Month. Meet the financial experts. Learn how to deal with financial hardships like those caused by COVID-19. Be money smart. Be part of the Banking and Financial Services Awareness Month. Visit www.yourmoneycan.or.ug. Brought to you by the Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, UIBFS.
Mobile banking, online banking, school pay, bank assurance, and MasterCard payment platforms. The new standard of digital banking.
Housing Finance Bank. We make it easy.
make those payments and take dinner out the freezer, enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Abby.
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Become a Centenary Bank customer and open an instant Center Express savings account on your phone for your friends and family. Validate the mobile number and SIM registration of the new customer using *197# or *216#. Go onto Center mobile app, log into the menu and select Center Express. Take a clear picture of the front of the new customer's national ID and their signature. Enter the phone number and address of the new customer and the account opening deposit. Submit the OTP the new customer will receive via SMS to complete the account opening. The new customer will receive an SMS with details of the Center Express account opened, the Center mobile PIN and agent banking PIN. The new customer can then complete the account opening process by dialing *211#. You will receive your commission instantly. So, open a Center Express savings account today in 5 minutes with no paperwork, no account charge, and without visiting the bank. The Center Express savings account is a product of Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
Your money can enable you to live a better